Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll get started here. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Hopefully you're doing okay. It's a little cloudy here in State College, and it's going to get cold tomorrow. High of 39, I believe. Maybe some snow.
Tomorrow snow.
That's not good. Okay, on behalf of CMAA, PA chapter, COAA PA, CSI Central Pennsylvania, DBIA Alleghenies, and the KCA, we welcome you again to the IPO series. And for those of you who have not attended previously, this is a co-sponsored event by all of these organizations, really get together to talk about how we can increase design and construction project success. And that's really the focus. So thanks for joining us. I am John Bechtel. I'm the Assistant Director of Design and Construction at Penn State. And I'll act as the MC today. You know, I'm hopeful that we can be in person soon, maybe a few months, summer, fall. We're not sure. So today, we're going to kind of reflect back on 2020. We spent some time giving advice to each other, and we're going to review that. We thought that'd be a good way to kick things off this year. And then we're going to spend some time in some focus groups to talk about topics that you would like us to focus on for 2021. So that's kind of the plan for today. Well, we should be here, but we're not. So I just wanted to pretend maybe for a moment that we're sitting at tables. We're not. It's a nice space. I like that space. I miss that space. And the space next to it. Okay, we have a sponsor for today's session. So Strategic Executive Consulting. I love their tagline there. Enabling constructors to build better, faster, safer with awesome results. Give them a shot. So the plan for today, just quick look at the agenda. We'll do a quick safety moment. We have some poll questions. John's going to try to make it happen if we don't have technical difficulties. Then, like I said, we're going to recap 2020. So we have representation from each discipline, if you will, an owner, a designer, and a builder to review each of their top 10 pieces of advice. So we'll quickly do that to kick it off. Make sure you all take that advice. Maybe, maybe not. And then we're going to break up into groups. We're going to have 2 rounds if we have time. Isn't that exciting? 2 rounds. The first round, we're going to brainstorm maybe the top 3 topics that are of interest to you, and we'll get in groups of 6 to 8 maybe. We'll see. And then we're going to do a second round, random breakouts, and take those 3 down to 1. So each group will then report out to the big group after the 2 rounds with 1 idea. Think you can make that happen? It took us about 2 hours to figure out how to do that. And we think it's not confusing, but maybe it will be. We'll see. But bottom line is break up into groups, get to know some people, and talk about, you know, what are the topics of the day and what should we focus maybe the next couple events on in 2021. And then we'll have some final thoughts, maybe some announcements from each of the organizations. And if you're willing to stay after 5, we'll have a little happy hour, and we'll see who stays. And again, a chance to meet some people. We will break up into groups again, maybe a couple rounds if we have time, and you know, to just have some networking. Okay, that's a transition slide. Safety moment. I'm going to turn that over to Micah.
Thanks, John. Hey, I just wanted to take a moment and talk about trench safety. Getting to the point now we're starting to trench and lay pipe and other things in the ground. So want to remain safe in doing that. It's a very dangerous situation if it's not proper, if trenches aren't properly shored, and you have people in them. So of course, first of all, you want to place one call and call before you dig. And then also, if you have trenches greater than 5 feet, make sure that there's a competent person on site that is trained in accordance with OSHA 29 CFR 1926 subpart P to assess the situation. That's it.
Great, thanks. Thank you.
Another transition slide.
All right, we're going to try some poll questions here. Please be candid and accurate with your answers.
I couldn't release one at a time. Released all three at once.
Okay. Place your answers, and we will highlight the results shortly. Interesting. You could probably end it now, John.
Yeah. Not a last vote there.
Still moving.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Here's your results, people. Can people see the screen?
I think you got to click share results.
Share right there.
All
Now,
right.
now can you see it?
Yep. You should be able to see it on my screen too. All right, so who won the Super Bowl? Steelers, Eagles, or none of the above? None of the above looks like wins. More Steeler fans though on this session, which is good in my opinion. Who plans to get the COVID-19 vaccine? That's just thought that would be interesting to share. And then how often should we have one of these sessions? Just to give us an idea of when you'd like to meet. That's great. Quarterly sounds good to me. All right, thanks, John.
Yep. Oops.
Okay, I'm up first. I'm going to represent the owners, and I have, I think, 5 minutes to get through this. Each of us will have 5 minutes just to kind of recap the advice for our particular group. On behalf of the owners, we don't need advice. So I'm not going to go through any of these. We're good. So we can move on to, just kidding. That's not true at all. Okay, so advice for owners. So more end users and maintenance up front makes a lot of sense, right? Sometimes we kind of forget about that. That's true. We need to do that. Hold team members accountable. Are you sure you want us to do that? No, that's a good reminder for all owners. We need to make sure that people are doing what they need to do and that we're clear on what they're accountable for. Expect lean techniques and principles. I know we're trying to do that at Penn State. Trying to do more lessons learned, trying to focus on on those concepts. And I can stand behind that, that's for sure. QA, QC, make sure that's planned appropriately. Review qualifications before price. Yes, best value. And I think a lot of owners are moving in that direction. And again, just to recap, this is advice that was developed by, if you attended those sessions last year, from everybody in the group. So those owners, designers, builders, all giving advice to each other. And this is the consensus of those conversations. Increase fees. That's not going to happen. No, just kidding again. You get what you pay for, and it's important to focus in on that. You know, if you really push people downward, it's going to come back and get you. And you need to focus on that. Improve communication, of course. Define stakeholders. I know we don't do a great job of that at Penn State. Who does what? We're a large organization, and it's really confusing right out of the gate. It's important to focus on that. Security and safety, focus. More time up front, early stage decision making. I know that's difficult for us, early and timely. And, you know, I know at Penn State we continue to focus in on that. Now, I said top 10, but the owner's got 4 extra. So project delivery decision early. Yep. Sometimes we hire the architect and engineer and we try to figure it out. Can be confusing. If day one we can figure that out, I think that would help everybody. Support the use of technology. The industry is not going to be able to innovate if we don't. So that's a good reminder. Continuity of expectations. Yep. Up and down. What do you expect? Make that clear at the beginning. And then, yeah, I mean, to help ourselves out, if you can, design for future flexibility. That was an interesting one that came up. And trying to incorporate that into designs, you know, can be difficult, but should be considered. So those are the owner pieces of advice. And we will move on to the designers. Chris, you want to go through this?
Sure.
You want me to move on?
And I think there's 4 extra ones in here too. So more transparency into the design process on everybody's part. There's too much siloing, and we need more collaboration, better collaboration, and earlier the better. Improving leadership during pre-construction and construction. And that would be, don't send out your novices to do the field work and but that can be included, but definitely the leadership, the experienced leadership is necessary, and the people that can manage that contract administration process. Fun, more fun. We always want more fun. Get through the grueling process that we engage in. More construction visits would be like the more fees would be better. And better strategy for contract administration. I would say probably, you know, training in those CI processes. It really needs to be drilled into us. Okay, next. Make sure the young designers get the field experience. That's very, very important. And often overlooked by many firms. So make time for that. Design to budget and get the budgetary process in place. It's always good to be reminded of, something we strive to do, but having the proper process for that is sometimes a little difficult. Must consider tolerances in design. This is a problem that seems to have become maybe a bit more of an issue with the advent of use of CAD and BIM, which doesn't really have tolerances built into it very well. So something that the younger design professionals need to take into consideration for sure. More exploration for renovation work is definitely would be a plus. Gathering the data and documenting it, and even if necessary, doing some destructive demolition to get into some walls or above ceilings and such to look for things that may be critical. Adhere to the agreed upon design schedule, similar to the budgetary considerations. That design schedule is a critical timeline, and without having the team, the design team, meaning the owner and the contractor, if they're involved in that early on, agreeing on changes, that can become a problem if it's just slides within the design firm. Next, get to know each other, team building. I would say both within the design professionals firms, whatever consultants you're working with, as well as any collaboration from the contractors, CM, and owners team side. Very important to have some time to get to know each other. A3 design making, and including design life cycle cost analysis. And anybody else want to jump in on this and clarify for me? But what I gather, I'm not exactly sure what A3 is, other than Six Sigma process for problem solving, and basically planning, doing, checking, and acting. And can get very complicated in terms of that checklist.
Yeah, Chris, that should be decision making.
Okay, decision making. Okay, yeah. Understanding the complete budget. Kind of going back to that budgetary control and process idea. It's basically just understanding there's a lot beyond just the basic construction costs. So there are a lot of soft costs and ancillary costs that both the design firm and the owner in particular need to be aware of, that will come about during the process of design, from design through construction and completion, and plan approvals and all of those things. Number 13, open to and understanding design assist. I'm assuming that means, John, which is basically either getting help from a contractor during the designing process, or some specialty subcontractor or manufacturer to provide assistance and details, and as well as maybe material selections, product selection systems. Continuous estimating, number 14, and lean principles, getting smart about all of these things. Continuous estimating is a really good one. Again, back to that design and budgetary control process. So a lot of it has to do with budget. So there you go.
Thanks, Chris. Okay, we're gonna turn it over to John, and he had to have exactly 10. So you can share your issue if you want, but I'll let you do that.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that the owner wanted 14, the architect did 14, but you only signed me up for 10, so that's all you're getting, John. And you were a minute and a half under your 5 minutes, so I'm going to take your float. I might be a little over the 5 minutes, okay? So, all right, I'm going to roll through these pretty quick. I found my notes from these sessions, so I'm kind of put the details in here. Hopefully, if I get long-winded, John, just cut me off. So the first one, open lines of communication, more collaboration, and better collaboration early. I think someone pointed out in that session that 85% of construction project issues, meaning cost and schedule, are communication related. So what that means is someone knew something at some time and decided not to surface it. So a strong project culture has everything to do with that clear and open communication. So there's no better time to start at the beginning of the job. That's really the only point in the job to start it. You got to set that expectation early. Also, someone made the point during that session that listening is communicating. So be an active listener. If people don't think you're listening, they're not going to tell you. Number two, bring solutions to the table, not RFIs. I think what was discussed was RFIs are there for a reason. However, make sure to discuss the RFI with the design team first and provide solutions if possible, preferably in a recurring setting and a recurring meeting. Many times they'll answer them on the spot and ask you to follow up with the RFI. Quickness is the key in construction and time is money. So providing proposed solutions, is always helpful. Thirdly, more fun, team building, and trades too. So senior leadership on a project sets the tone, and it's on you to create a strong project culture. For those moments throughout the day, you gotta prop up your team, you gotta prop up a colleague or help someone out. After all, you spend more time with your project team more than likely than with your own family. So try to make it as fun as possible and don't leave the subs behind. We all have to win together, and recognition goes super far with subs and in the field. It's amazing how pizza, free t-shirts, and free ball caps get grown adults excited. So try to make it fun. For realistic and achievable schedules, do not overpromise. Back to the open lines of communication, test, and retest your assumptions and set expectations appropriately. I think someone mentioned on that call that builders are seeing a tighter schedule as a sales point as of late, even if the bids are all the same. So don't misrepresent delivery timing to get the job because it has downstream effects for the owner user, which can be kind of painful. Fifth, understanding scope and goals for the project and ensure quality time during pre-construction when invited, which means to me, invest the necessary time in pre-con. Just because you competed for the job and won it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be focused and dedicated during the pre-con phase. So invest the necessary time up front to ensure a successful outcome. Just don't be physically present. We see that occasionally. Be mentally present as well. Be part of the conversation, set the project up for success. 6, utilize value adding technology, develop a plan for the project, get the model at the field. I think the focus on this is value add. There's a lot of really cool technology out there right now. There's a lot of tools at our disposal, whether it's laser scanning, hollow builder, BIM, etc. Make sure you understand the value add or how it can improve the efficiency or productivity of a project. And in the construction industry, we're kind of known as being an industry of laggards. We don't necessarily get out in the forefront of these things. So make sure you're educated as to what the best technologies are out there. 7, involve the entire team in pursuit presentations. We've all learned this lesson. Owners want to hear from the people that they'll see every day. Some people are not comfortable presenting, such as superintendents we've found. This world of virtual interviews is actually, I think, helping a little bit because people are less intimidated to present to a screen or to a camera than they are in person. We've also encouraged field personnel to maybe make it a little more personable, talk about yourself at the beginning. That usually kind of calms them down a bit, but very important for the entire team to be present in the presentation. 8, remove the waste, explore prefab, bring it on. Productivity efficiency gains have been elusive in the construction industry for the past few decades. With advancements in prefab, panelized systems, and modular, with that picking up steam, we all need to be aware of it and where we can apply it. I just had a conversation with a modular manufacturer yesterday out of New Jersey that has quoted 5 prefab modular multifamily jobs in the Pittsburgh market alone. He claimed in the last 3 months. And so definitely an evolving part of our industry. It's something we all need to be familiar with. 9, push for design assist. We need to stop complaining about the design. Even if it isn't a design assist job, behave like it is, be involved, have a seat at the table, provide thoughtful guidance, precedent examples, and lessons learned. Builders can be part of the solution. And then lastly, continuous estimating, figure it out, please. This is key, as typically estimating is done at certain design milestones. The secret sauce is knowing what is coming next. The last thing an owner wants to hear when an estimate bumps is that I assumed he or she was going to draw or spec XYZ. I just saw it recently and it drives me nuts. Stay engaged between milestones, be part of the coordination activities, and stay real time. Was I under my 5 minutes, John?
Maybe.
I hope.
Right on, right on. Good job, John.
All right, good.
I especially like that last one. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think I'm impressed with those items, that advice. I think they're good. You know, depending on who you are, or doesn't even matter which discipline you are. Look through those, share them with your teams. I think it's good reminders to have, understand. So we're not forgetting things, and we're pushing the industry forward, trying to be innovative, and not forgetting about the basics as well. Really important. Okay. Now we'll break up into groups, try to get some conversations going. We're going to break up into groups of maybe 5 or 7, John.
Yeah, I was thinking 6. So yeah, 5, whatever.
So that sounds good. When I tell John to press the button, don't press the button yet, John. Just want to give instructions first. So each group should have a facilitator in there. If not, I'm sure somebody can step up, but I think John's going to try to assign a facilitator. And the first session will probably be about 20 minutes maybe. And the goal of that is to develop three topic ideas for the IPOs moving forward, so we can make sure that we're listening to you all, what you all want to talk about. So that's the goal of the first round. All right, and then we'll come back. We're not going to talk about those 3. Those facilitators are going to hold on to those 3 and take them to the next round. And then we'll break up again. And when the facilitator takes those 3 to the second round, they're going to narrow it down to 1. And then that facilitator will report out the winner, the winning topic. So we should have 5 or 6 topics at the end. Did you all follow that?
Easy.
Did I get it right, John?
I
Now,
think we just confused, I think, 9 people, because we went from 48 to 39 right now.
so if this doesn't work, it's Brian's fault, okay? Because he tried to confuse this thing. But anyway, all right. I'll stop my share. You'll join a group, and we'll see you in 20.